Hello, everyone. Just as a brief intro here, this is the bonus episode where we have all of your interviews at Minicon. It is unedited for the most part, aside from placement and some transitions. So have fun, pick yourself out, listen to it, share with your friends, and we'll see you later. All right, here we're recording for Minicon. We have our first guest speaker here, Judy
Brunty.
Brunty?
Yes.
Judy Brunty. All right, so Judy, have you listened to the podcast? And if so, what do you think?
Yes, I listen to it every week. I enjoy it. Very good content, and everybody should subscribe to that.
How are you liking Minicon?
I love Minicon. I come every year.
What's been your favorite thing thus far that you've seen?
Oh, the worlds that they have. The decorations are astonishing.
Excellent. All right, so what's the best book you've read in the past year?
So, in the past year.
In the past year, yeah.
I would say there was a... Oh, you should have asked me. Let me see.
No rush. So you'll hear this later and you'll see how good it sounds because we'll just cut all the extra bit out.
I would say, can you hopefully you can... I did read The Wizard's Guide of Defense Baking and really enjoyed that. That was from one of Mallory's picks on...
It's T.J. Klune, yeah?
There, yes.
Not T.J. Klune, what's her name?
No, T. Kingfisher.
T. Kingfisher, that's it.
Yes.
T. Kingfisher, yeah.
So...
I've heard that was a good book. I've read some of other T. Kingfisher's other books. They've been pretty good.
Yes.
So in general, what sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
Oh, horror, mystery, Jim Butcher's my favorite, too. I love the Dresden Files.
Yep, Jim Butcher.
I did all of them. I said they needed a SplatterCon off of his.
Exactly, yeah. A SplatterCon. That'd be cool to do eventually. Actually, so, fun thing. I was just up in, obviously, recording in Seattle, but I was there for NorwestCon, which is an author convention. He was supposed to be the guest speaker.
Oh, yeah?
There. Didn't show up because he got COVID.
Oh.
Crazy.
Man, that would stink.
Okay, and last thing, what are some authors that you would, or who are some authors you'd like to hear us interview?
Oh, I see.
I mean, Jim Butcher, obviously.
Jim Butcher, I think you guys had him on the list.
Eventually, one day.
I was going to say, there's Kelly Armstrong. I like her series of, caught me off guard.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me see what the name of the thing is called. Because the last one's The Boy Who Cried Wolf, or The Boy Who Cried Bear, and it's their Rockton series. She's a really good series.
Okay.
I like that. And Eve Duncan, the Iris Johansson's the author. Eve Duncan is the series.
Okay.
Sorry,
Cool.
Is a good series too.
We'll definitely try to reach out to him and see if we can get anything. Do you have any final thoughts of anything you want people to know on the podcast?
They don't know if they ain't joined. They don't know what they're missing out on.
Exactly.
So they should tell everybody to join. It's very good.
Yeah, we go over the best stuff, and we have the best guests.
Yes.
well, thank you. No, thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
And we'll hope you keep listening. Let us know if you have any suggestions or anything in the future.
Yes, I'm always in the library. I enjoy it.
All right, we have our second guest here. This is Madison Workman. Madison, have you listened to the podcast? And if so, what do you think?
No, I haven't listened to it yet.
Just get a little bit closer to the mic.
Like that?
Yeah, let's get it right there.
All right.
You gotta pretend like you love the mic and talk to the mic. Okay. So you have not listened to it thus far, but now you're gonna be an avid listener, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I'll for sure listen to it.
All right. So how are you liking Minicon so far?
I've been here for like 5 minutes, but I like it so far.
All right. Well, I was gonna say, what's your favorite part thus far? Obviously, being interviewed.
Yeah, this is my favorite part.
So do you read much? What's the best book that you've read in the past year?
I don't really read, but like I don't read at all. But my
What's
favorite.
the best thing that you've watched then in the past year?
Oh, probably Stranger Things. That's my favorite show.
Stranger Things.
Yeah,
okay.
I like watch it all the time.
All right, good stuff. Okay, then you don't read much. What do you normally like to watch?
Watch probably like TV shows on Netflix.
So aside from Stranger Things, what else? I mean, that's a very specific sort of genre. We got the 80s horror, sci-fi.
I like
type
to
thing.
watch like scary movies and shows, thrillers.
There you go. Okay. And okay, you don't read, but still, what are some authors that you might want to hear us interview? If you have anybody. I mean, you don't have to
Yeah,
have
I don't really know any authors or anything.
Okay, well, I'd say for one thing, read more.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But
Do you have a
thank
favorite
you for
book?
coming. Oh, my favorite book?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite book's probably The Hobbit. I mean, the podcast listeners know this, but that my favorite author is probably Jim Butcher, as Judy said. And got to meet a couple cool authors, and we're trying to get new ones on all
really?
the time. Yeah.
That's nice.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah,
I'd say
you.
in a few weeks you should be able to hear us.
Thank you.
All right. So we have another guest here. This is Haley Workman. Haley, have you listened to any of the podcast?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I knew this already. We already talked beforehand. But Haley is now going to be an avid subscriber and listener to the podcast. We know this. All right. So how are you liking Minicon so far?
I like it. I like it.
All right. Cool. What's your favorite part?
The jumping spiders.
The jumping spiders. Where's the jumping spiders at?
They're out in the where they're selling the vendors. They're live spiders.
Oh my gosh, we got live spiders here at Minicon. Amazing. The more you know. Okay, so do you read much?
Sometimes.
Okay, what's the best book you've read this year?
Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with... Actually, this is the thing. What is that title again?
Interview with a Vampire.
With the vampire or a vampire?
I honestly have no idea.
It is Interview with the Vampire. This is one of the things we talked about on our last episode that has not aired yet. 2 episodes ago. It was Interview with the Vampire. It's about the Mandela effect. So check that one out, guys. So what sort of stuff do you normally like to read when you do read?
Books I like.
Books you like. No particular genre or anything?
Books that sound cool.
Books that sound cool. All right. And, okay, so do you have any favorite authors? Anybody you'd like us to get in on the podcast? We do interview authors sometimes.
Stephen King.
Stephen King?
Oh.
No worries. If we could get Stephen King. I've been to his house before, actually. It's real big. Not in his house, but you can look at it. It's a pretty cool place. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Welcome.
All right. Hello, everyone. We now have Anna Stats on the podcast. Have you listened to the podcast before?
No, but I will.
You will now.
I will.
Excellent. I hope so. We're trying to get as many people listening as we can and make sure everybody who's listening now that you share it out to all your friends. All right, so how are you liking Minicon so far?
I like it. It's fun.
You like it? All right, cool. What's been your favorite part?
Probably the art. I got first place.
The art? You got first place in the
Yeah.
art for what? Oh, what did you do?
I made a dragon head.
A dragon head.
Yeah.
Like a sculpture?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. Do you read much?
I love reading.
Okay, what's your favorite book that you read this year?
God, I don't know. I have like a lot of favorites, but I read a lot of them online, so.
Online?
Yeah.
Like, actually, are they like fanfic type books, or are they like...
All of them.
All of them? Just
Both.
everything. Okay, cool.
But one of my favorite books is Different Not Less by Chloe Hayden. I read that last year and this year.
Okay. Not heard of her. You said, what was her name again?
Chloe Hayden.
Chloe Hayden. Not heard of her. Okay.
I love her.
Well, okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second. What sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
I really like a lot of fantasy things.
Fantasy things?
Like a bunch of action and fantasy.
Okay. And are there any particular authors you'd like us to interview, if we can?
Chloe Hayden.
Chloe Hayden. I kind of figured it might be. So, anybody else?
I don't think so, really.
All right, cool. And is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody on the podcast?
Follow the podcast.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, everybody. We'll move on to the next person. Okay, here we are joined by our next guest, Nevaeh Smith. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Excellent. So, have you listened to the podcast before?
Yes.
You have listened to the podcast. What do you think?
I quite enjoy it. I put it on while I'm cleaning and stuff.
Excellent, excellent. So, how are you liking Minicon thus far?
I love Minicon. I go every year and it's a lot of fun.
Yep, cool. I have not been here in a very long time, personally. It's a little bit far from me. So, what's the best book you've read this year?
I recently started the Maze Runner series.
The Maze Runner series. Okay.
It's my favorite by far so far.
I have not read that, but I know the premise. That is a wild set of books.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of crazy stuff happens. All right, cool. What sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
I prefer sci-fi and adventure novels.
Sci-fi and adventure novels. Is there any particular author that you'd like to hear us interview if we get a chance?
I'm not completely sure. I like to read from a lot of different people, so.
Is there a specific, like, I don't know, just somebody recent that you've really liked? Aside from I guess we could do the Maze Running series, whoever the author of that is. I don't remember. Do you know their name?
I forgot the name.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while since I've actually seen them. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to tell the podcast listeners or yourself, I guess, in the future? No?
No.
No? Nothing? Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Okay, here we are. We're joined by Haley Smith, our next guest. Have you listened to the podcast before?
No.
No, you haven't? Okay. Are you going to start listening now?
Yeah.
Obviously. All right, well, how are you liking Minicon?
It's really fun, and like, since I'm in the Taboo group, it's kind of like, I'm kind of like nervous because I have to perform with my friend at 3:30 or 3. So.
You doing that? I think I saw you guys practicing when you first came in. Yeah, excellent. Taboo, yeah, that's the thing. Started up. I think it was my sister was the first Taboo group back in the day. Like, I don't know how long ago that was. I'm not going to say, actually, because it was like 15 or 20 years ago. I don't remember. Anyway, my sister's old. Don't tell her I said that. So what's been your favorite part of Minicon so far?
Probably like the like places to buy stuff in the back. It's kind of fun back there.
The vendor area? All
Yeah.
right, cool. Good to hear. And what's the best book you've read this year?
This year, probably, a lot of people know this, like, as TikTok, like, from TikTok, but Icebreaker, it was a really good book.
Icebreaker?
Yeah.
I have not read that one. It's a book talk book, you say. Okay, cool. Who's the author? Do you know?
No.
Okay, no
I think
worries.
her first name's Hannah, though.
Is
Might be
it
Hannah Grace, I don't know. I don't know.
not Kristen Hannah, right? That's a different person. All right, cool. So what sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
Graphic novels, stuff like that.
Graphic novels. Okay, well, you haven't listened to the thing. We actually interviewed a guy who did a graphic novel recently, Garth Stein. You should check out his stuff. The graphic novel series is called The Cloven. So that's you like to read graphic novels. Is there anyone in particular that you've been liking a lot recently?
Not really.
Just various things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly.
And what are some authors you'd like to hear us interview?
Um,
Do you know of any authors you would like to hear from, I guess?
not really that I could pick off the top of my head.
No worries. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell the podcast listeners while we got you here?
A lot of people don't like reading, but it's actually really interesting once you start.
Very true.
Books are
Thank you for
really
saying
fun
that.
to listen, read.
Excellent. Yeah. Do you usually read or you listen to audiobooks?
Both.
Both? Okay, excellent. See, audiobooks count, guys. They really do. A lot of people don't think so, but it really does. Anytime way you can consume the books. Well, thank you very much for coming on. All right?
Of course.
Okay, we are joined by our next guest here, Sophia Fowler. Sophia, thank you for joining us. So have you ever listened to the podcast?
No.
You haven't. You're going to start listening now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you better. And your dad is going to, because apparently I know her dad. Brandon and me go way, way back. I know him like probably 15, 20 years ago. We used to play D&D all the time together.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff. So how are you liking Minicon thus far?
It's pretty fun. I really like the volcano ring toss.
The volcano ring toss?
Yeah.
Did you win anything? Did you get the rings in there?
Like one.
One. I know it's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult game. All right, so what is the best book you've read this year?
There's a series that my friend actually showed me, and it's like called Secret Coders, and it was like a novel and stuff, and it's like about where it was like a school, and the janitor has like robots and codes and stuff. It's kind of hard to explain.
Secret Coders. Do you know who writes it?
No, I don't remember.
We're gonna have to check that one out. That one sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so you clearly read some. What sort of stuff do you usually like to read?
I just really like graphic novels.
Graphic novels.
Yeah.
What kind?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. So, do you know of any authors that you'd like us to talk to at some point?
I like Stephen King.
Stephen King? Yeah, we had a
like-
request for Stephen King a little bit ago.
I like his movies and stuff too.
Cool. Yeah, I've read a bunch of his stuff. He's very good. All right. And is there anything that you would like our listeners to hear before you go?
Nothing that I can think of.
Nothing you can think of. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sophia.
You're welcome.
And we're going to move on to the next one. To it. Okay, we are joined by our next guest here, Journey Wiley. So, Journey, have you ever listened to the podcast before?
I actually have not.
You have not.
No.
But now that you're going to be on it, you're going to listen, right?
Yes.
Obviously. Okay, excellent.
Obviously.
So how are you liking Minicon thus far?
It's good. First
good?
time, yeah. First
It's
time.
your first time here?
Yes.
Man, they've been doing it for a while. You're going to have to make sure you come back because it's always very fun. What's been your favorite part?
Yes. Probably the games.
The games? Any
Yeah.
particular game?
Ring toss.
The ring toss also.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, cool. So what's the best book you've read this year?
Probably, I want to say it was Coraline.
Coraline by
yes.
Neil Gaiman.
Yes. It was
One
a
of my-
comic.
Oh, it
too.
was the comic version.
Yes, I liked that one a lot.
Okay. I read the book. I've not seen the comic and the movie. Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Excellent movie, right?
Yes.
All right. So, what sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
Kind of like horror or graphic novel.
Horror or graphic novels?
Yes.
Excellent. Any particular one that you can think of?
I just like all of them. The
Just
one
all
that,
of 'em?
yeah, pictures mainly.
Okay. Again, you should probably check. I think I told somebody else a little bit ago that Garth Stein, he's got a graphic novel out. It's really kind of dark and creepy. It's pretty fun. So okay, what are some of the authors that you would like to hear us interview, or who, I guess?
Ooh, I don't know.
Are there any authors you really like?
Not really. I just like the books.
Just whichever book it is.
Yeah,
All right.
just whatever book.
Well, I'll tell you if we get Neil Gaiman, and I'll let you know. Was there anything else you'd like to tell the podcast listeners?
No?
No, nothing? Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for coming in to join us.
All right, thank you.
Sorry for that delay, folks. We just had loud people in the room. All right, so our next guest is Addison Workman. Addison, have you ever listened to the podcast? You have? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. No worries. So how are you liking Minicon? Is it fun?
Yes, it is.
What is your favorite part?
The games and the way you can run stuff and all the books.
Do you have any particular game that you really liked?
The lava one.
The lava one. The ring toss one?
Yeah.
A lot of people have been really liking the ring toss. So I've been hearing. So do you read much books?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's your favorite book that you've read this year?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. Wow, that's fun. What sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
Well, there is one that, I like to read, I don't know, stuff like The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Kind of spooky stuff?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Excellent. Does anybody know who the Nightmare Before Christmas author is? I don't even know if he's alive anymore. I mean, unless you just call Tim Burton. Is it Tim Burton?
Yeah.
It's a poem written by Tim Burton. He was
Okay. Interesting. So Tim Burton, if we can get Tim Burton on here, I doubt it, but we're going to try. We'll see if we can. Maybe we can get him an interview. Would you like to tell the podcast listeners anything before you go? Any fun story or anything like that?
To come to the Ripley Library.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Come to the Ripley Library, as Addison says. All right. Thank you for coming, Addison.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay, we have our next guest in here, Lilith Fowler. Lilith, how are you?
I'm great.
All right. Have you listened to the podcast before?
No?
No, but you're going to start listening now because you're on it.
Heck
you
yeah.
are the podcast now. All right, cool. How are you liking Minicon?
It's great. I like it a lot.
Like it a lot? What's been your favorite part?
I like the art.
The art. Okay, cool. Anything good you saw over there?
I saw a giant dragon that looked like it was made out of paper mache.
That's pretty cool. All right, so what is the best book you've read this year?
Just Listen by Sarah Dessen.
Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. I've not heard of Sarah Dessen. Is it good, though?
Yeah.
Favorite book? Okay, cool. So what sort of stuff do you normally like to read?
I like horror books or just fantasy books.
There's a lot of horror in here. I do like fantasy a lot. So what are some authors that you'd like to hear us interview?
Sarah Dessen.
Sarah Dessen. All right, we're going to see if we can get Sarah Dessen on here at some point. Is there anything you'd like to tell the podcast listeners since we got you here?
Nope.
No, nothing? All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Lilith.
You're welcome.
And make sure you listen to the podcast.
Okay, we have with us today Eric Voyers, and he's going to talk with us on our podcast a little bit, the Reading Room Ruffians. Have you listened to any of our podcasts?
No, I have not, but I'm going to have to now.
Okay, that sounds good. How are you liking Minicon so far?
Love Minicon. I go to a lot of the different conventions. I've been on the cruises. I've hung out with many of the actors and actresses from Star Trek and Babylon 5, enjoy them as people. And I really understand and appreciate the value of imagination and where science fiction has actually taken us now.
That's true. That's a good answer. I like that answer. And I would love to meet some of the people you've met because I've heard you talk about them before. What's the best book you've read this year?
The best book that I have read this year, I would have to say I completed the David Mack Star Trek Destiny series. It's a series of 3 books, and it's got 3 different timelines. And the beauty of it is it not only explains the beginning of the Borg, but it actually ends the Borg story.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was really interesting how he merged 3 different timelines, Enterprise timeline, and then it had Riker with the Titan, and Ezra Dax from Deep Space Nine. She was the commander of a ship. And of course, Picard was still commander of the Enterprise, and it kind of merged all of those together. And it was really, the imagination, but it was 3 separate books. And it was funny, too, because I'd found the first one at Books A Million and read through it. Couldn't find the second 2. Well, I ended up going on a Star Trek cruise, and they had a special part on there with books. And at the end of the cruise, and everybody was leaving, you walk through the different areas, and they had all these books on the shelf. And I just went over and looked, and guess what? I found the other 2 books.
Oh, that was meant to be.
Yeah,
that was meant to be.
Books and all that too. And yeah. And so that was a good series.
So you were telling me too that you have a podcast you're on because I know you're involved with a lot of different sci-fi things and. So you want to talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, it's called Outworld Fleet. We have Outworld Fleet Radio, and it can be streamed online. And I work with them. We have podcasts, and I'm working on one right now, getting ready to start doing some more of the actual podcast. It's called Hardware Hangout. And it's where basically 2 parts of it. One part is the weapons locker, and the other part of it is the technical manuals. And you just pick a theme, be it deflector array. Like today we're going to hang out in the weapons locker. We're going to talk about plasma pistols. We talk about plasma pistols, how they function, and the real-world implications, being the military. A lot of college students are doing things because these are giving them ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think the flip phone came from?
I know.
Stuff like that. And
Star Trek has influenced a lot
It
of
really
the stuff
has.
we have
It
now.
has influenced a lot of things because, it's where the imagination begins. If we didn't have that, we would not have anything that we have right now. We wouldn't have the computers that we're looking at right now,
Uh-huh.
and the
voice
microphones. We
recognition,
wouldn't have all the microchips. I mean, it's needed.
Absolutely. You had loaned me a couple of movies on the influence of Star Trek on people, and those were amazing. I mean,
Yes.
it always influenced me, but I didn't realize how much it had impacted other people and
Right.
their lives and
Right. Yeah. Well,
the hope it gave them.
Well, science fiction and even fantasy is a metaphor. It puts things in a much more maybe palatable manner to get people to understand and see that, like the original Star Trek, with Gene Roddenberry. He was trying to get people to understand that. And there's many, 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 many movies like that. I mean, I myself work in psychology. And I work with adolescents, first episode psychosis. And I use a lot of those because they understand that. And not only that, it blows their mind that someone of age, if you will, is interested in that and using that. It's also a way to reach them and understand, but I use a lot of different things. I'll get on YouTube and I'll show them little bits and pieces of something from a movie. And then I'll say, I get that. It says, yeah, that's what we're talking about, And a lot of shows, especially some of the ones I found the ones from maybe like the 60s or 70s, early, they're more towards that type of stuff. The ones today are just your feel good, bang, bang, zip, zip, pow, pow. Most of the ones from that, they have more of a message. And then the ones now, they have a message, but they're a lot more hidden.
Yeah.
And, and when you can figure it out, that means you're using your noodle. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah. I remember some of the early Star Treks. The messages in them.
Yeah,
there was some really good ones.
Exactly too. And then of course, like anything else, like I said, we was talking, watching the Trekkies and the Trekkies too, about how much Star Trek has impacted people's lives.
Oh yeah.
And of course, one of the things too, like with anything else, is make sure that you don't take it too far, and live in that world. I know I myself, like I said, I work in psychology. I've done a lot of speaking in abnormal psychology classes in the universities, and one of the things I do is we talk about that. We talk about is this. First thing I'll do is I'll go in and I'll pull out a sonic screwdriver and I'll just, hey, you look human. You want to go out? I'm a doctor. And I look at everybody and is that abnormal? And some people will say yes. Some people will say no. And I said, well, okay, well, let's pretend if this was a science fiction convention, is that abnormal? And of course, most people say no. And I said, well, then abnormality is an issue of venue. And we talk about it and get them to think. And then I say, it all boils down to one word, maladaptive. If it is not getting you where you need to be, it's a little different pretending you're Captain Kirk in a place like this, and you go to work every day, and you refer to your boss as Uhura, and you're sitting in the bridge, and that's a little different.
Yeah.
You got to know when to do it, when not to. And those are the things regarding that type of, types of things. To get lost. You got to be careful with that, and put it in the right perspective and understand what it is, and when it should be put away, like most people, or utilize the principles of it in your daily life.
That's a good point. That's a real good point.
I'm not saying that I won't go to work one day with a jacket that's got a Star Trek insignia on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go to work every day dressed like Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Unless we have an event or something to where that is expected,
Yeah, as appropriate.
Yeah, and it can open up conversations, like for instance, I went to church last week and I wore my Captain Kirk bomber jacket, and people loved it.
Yeah.
And some of the people just says, oh man, they never knew. So I'm a Star Trek fan too, man. I love that show. It normalizes it. It normalizes it and it creates a connection. And not only that though, even for the children, you're validating them when you come to these Minicons. And that's one of the things I love about this Minicon is that the adults come with the children.
Yes.
And they're doing it together. You're validating that child that it is okay to dream. It is okay to have imagination.
Yeah.
It's okay to play.
Yeah.
Remember the one Star Trek episode where they went down to the planet with the bunny and all that, everything that they thought of happened.
Yeah.
And they realized it was an amusement park. And then Kirk said, the more complex the mind, the more the need for the simplicity of play.
That's true.
Just powerful statements like that, in these shows.
Yep.
It can make you up. And
Absolutely.
Of course, too, I love the library. There's something very charming about the written word. The colors, the texture, even old books.
Oh, I love old books.
One of my biggest concerns is everything is going online now. Everything is online, and and there's a little bit of trepidation about that because these books, they're written, they are what they are. You can get online and you can manipulate any. Remember George Orwell's 1984.
Oh yeah.
You can go in and manipulate anything online, and go back and change it.
Yeah,
and all that. You can't really do that with a written book. That's
because
why
it's
you know
right
what.
there in front of you.
I mean, consider this. That's why back in Germany, back in World War II, that's why they burned books because they couldn't go back in the computer and change the words. You know, I mean, but yeah. So that's the thing, though. I mean, books are important because that's where ideas are spread.
That's true.
You know, that's why reading is so important because if you can read, you've empowered yourself. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. You know, I heard one person say once, you know, that the best way for any type of leader to keep his people in submission is to keep them hungry and illiterate.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so books are very important. That's why I love the Minicon hosting these things. And the library does a lot of wonderful things. And most people don't think about it. As a matter of fact, one of my first introductions into an actual big science fiction convention was this library.
Was the Minicon?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a Minicon. It was another. And you had a flyer up for a convention in Dover, Ohio. And I went to it, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, and all that too. And so, but it's really, libraries are really nice. Fun place to be.
Well, thank you. We try really hard to include everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And to have things for everyone. So.
Yeah, exactly, too.
So this covers the whole sci-fi fantasy.
Well,
and then we have other things for like people that are more serious with like learning stuff. We have stuff.
I remember last week you went out and was talking to some school kids about the upcoming eclipse.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. You know, talking about that.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are, you know, and it's just part of our world. It's part of the astrology. It's part of the planets and all this too. And the game we just played with these little, you know, little girl blew my mind when she knew.
She was good.
You know, the planets and real space history,
the real space
history and all this stuff, you know, and that's where it goes to, you know. So but that's fun. That is what the Minicon is here for.
Yeah. More people should come out.
So you think of it as mini convention. I think of it as mini connection.
Well, that's true. It does. It really helps.
Yeah.
Helps people see that there's other people like them, and they're not odd. They're
you're not
weird.
alone. And you know, and that's with anything. Even when I work in psychology, that's one of the things I try to do with the younger ones because I work with kids about your age. You know, with their psychosis, which, you know, that's the first time you start maybe seeing things that aren't there, hearing things that other people can't. You know, you're not alone. You're not the only one that feels like this because it can be a very lonely place because most people won't come out and say, hi, my name is Eric. I see things that other people don't. They don't do that.
No.
And you got to realize, you know, it's normal and there's nothing to be ashamed of, and let's just work with this. And, you know, let's work on this and you take control of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like in Star Trek, you know, the one movie. The where they find the planet with God on it, and then Vulcan, and then Spock's
That's one
brother
of my favorites.
that tries to make people actually come to face with their pain. And Kirk said, "No, I don't want you to take my pain away.
Yeah.
I need my pain. My pain makes me who I am.
Yeah.
My pain makes me do what I need to do and not do what I shouldn't do. You know, you need your pain,
and it makes you question. My favorite line of that was like, why would God need a starship?
Why would God need a starship?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why would God need a starship? It's know? And that was
one of my favorites.
That was his favorite.
Because it's like, that's a good point. You can't just be led around.
Why would God need a starship? And why would God be on a planet? You know, prison on a planet. Yeah, exactly. So that was interesting. That was a good movie.
It was a cool thing too that relates to like reality now. They had to go through that wall of fire.
Yes.
And then when Voyager probes got out past, there was that wall of fire.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe the wall of fire is a metaphor for your own fears.
It could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Because they passed through it just fine.
They passed through it just fine. You know, they took control of it. You know, I have a friend. Her name is Dr. Janina Scarlett. She is out in San Diego. She's actually from the Ukraine, and she came over here and she talks about how with Chernobyl and how she suffered torment in high school. They called her the radioactive girl and all that. And she's a psychologist, and she works a lot with the military. She's wrote a book called Superhero Therapy, and it's utilizing all the superheroes. If you look at them, they all have a fear of something, and it's about getting over that. And she uses that in her when she's talking to people. And she actually has a podcast that she does on YouTube called On the Couch with Dr. Scarlet.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
she actually gives therapy to Harry Potter. She gives therapy to superheroes, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Batman. I was Doctor Who one year.
Oh, were
Because
you?
we did a convention one year, and we decided to, and there was a TARDIS downstairs, and we went ahead and had a makeup artist make me up like Peter Capaldi.
Mm-hmm.
And we went up into the room there, and she gave me therapy as Doctor Who. And it's on YouTube.
Oh, I'll
As
have
far
to
as
check
On the
that.
Couch on there, but it's called On the Couch with Dr. Scarlet and Doctor Who, and I'm Doctor Who.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm going to have to look that up.
And it's just stuff like that, trying to, get to the bottom of their fears, because they all have those. And many, there's some, Chase Masterson, who was Lita, she's actually in one of them. She's Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wonder Woman on
I'm
On
gonna have
the
to look
Couch.
that up. That sounds
Yeah, it's
really
called On the
interesting.
Couch Superhero Therapy, and it's basically like the Superman symbol. It looks more like the Babylon 5 Psychor symbol because the way she got it on there, but it's the colors. And at the end of her books, if she signs a book for you, she will say, "Do not forget your cape."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good point. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
You can talk about the glorious Klingons.
Well, yeah, we could do that. We could do that, yeah.
Yeah, the glorious Klingons, and how come they look so much like people? Stargate. When Discovery came out, they looked at the Klingons and says, "What? They look more like Stargate." And then But anyway, hey, fresh ideas. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
but
true.
anyway.
Yeah.
So this
Go
is all
Klingons.
fun.
Or what
Yeah.
was it-
Come to the Ripley Library and meet Carla.
Oh, no, that's okay. We can. I would be happy to meet you, but a little overwhelmed today.
Today. Yeah, it's fun here.
And if somebody wants to come on the podcast, they're welcome to contact us, and we would be happy to host them.
Yeah, and the Minicon's here till 2 o'clock. What?
Till 6 o'clock.
Till 6 o'clock today. Yeah, 6 o'clock here in Ripley.
So, yep. So,
All right.
come out and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for volunteering to
You're
be
very
interviewed.
welcome.
I have a couple little pins for you.
Oh, well, thank you very, very
One
much.
for being a speaker, and the other one's just a reading room ruffian pin.
All right.
That's our
Well,
podcast.
become a podcast, babe. Oh, cool. Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And you have a good day.
You too. Enjoy the rest of the Minicon.
Now I know why on Star Trek they only have a goatee.
Hi, we're back with Kaya Fields. She's here visiting the Minicon today, and she's going to be interviewed. I have a few questions for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of our podcast before?
No, I haven't. This is actually my first year living in West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And this is new for me and my sister.
That's pretty
and
cool.
I'm very glad to be here.
Well, I am very glad you're here, and you did really well with the trivia. I was very impressed. Our podcast is the Reading Room Ruffians, so maybe you or your mom could look it up sometime. How are you liking Minicon so far?
Pretty good. I made friends with the older guy. They're really nice people.
That's cool. There's a lot of nice people here. I think it was Eric Voyers, the Klingon. Is that the one you made?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Okay. What's your favorite book that you've read this year?
Probably, I haven't read any books this year yet, but actually I have. I have read this comic. It's by a famous YouTuber who are not together anymore.
Uh-huh.
But they still make books. Their name is Pat and Jen. Zombies Day Off.
Oh, that sounds like cool. That sounds
It's
like a good one.
comic,
Uh-huh.
graphic novel comic.
That sounds like a cool one. Do you normally like to read, or do you like to listen, or what do you like to do?
Most likely I'd rather listen, but it's still fun to read sometimes.
That's true. Me too. I love audiobooks. I like to listen. Is there any author you like a lot?
I don't know. Like, there are two authors I like, Pat and Jen, and the author of Ginny B. Jones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My granddaughter loves Junie B. Jones.
I have almost the whole set.
That's really cool. That's good. So what's been your favorite thing about Minicon so far?
Most likely just playing or hanging out with people, meeting new people, and getting out of the house and spending time with people I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's a real good answer. That's why we do it, so people have a chance to make connections and make friends and try new things. Have you tried any of the games yet?
Yes, I have played a bunch, actually.
Have you? Did you like them? Did you earn you some tokens?
Yes.
Good. Good. And raffle tickets?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Cool. Anything else you want to tell us?
No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on and letting me interview you.
I have a couple questions for you.
Okay, I am here to answer them.
What is your name?
My name is Carla.
Okay.
Carla
And
Long.
who are you dressed up as?
I am just a Jedi. Not a specific one, just a Jedi.
Nice. You know that PlayStation 4 new Star Wars Legacy game?
You know, I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know that one.
But if you look it up, there's an old version on PlayStation 2. I played the old one, but then we got on the new PlayStation. The graphics were way much better, but it's
Were
really
they?
cool to see the old one and new one.
Side by
versus-
side, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, but it's really cool with the old one because
Uh-huh.
there's like things on the old controller and stuff that is different than now.
Uh-huh.
So it ruins kind of the fun.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's fun still,
But you like the older one better?
yeah, even though it has bad graphics.
You gotta play what you like then. Enjoy the old one. Sometimes the older stuff is better than the newer stuff.
Yeah, I don't like remakes of movies.
No, I don't either. I haven't liked
They
any of them so far.
ruined most of the other movies.
Uh-huh.
The only one that haven't ruined is the backstory. Actually, technically not a remake, but it's the backstory of Wonka.
I like that one. That was good.
My sister's favorite one is the one where a bunch of kids drowned in chocolate. The one.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the messed up Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bizarre
That was
one.
very messed up.
Yes, it was. It was.
It shouldn't have been in the kids section.
No, probably not, because it was pretty...
I watched it when I was 5.
Uh-huh.
I know someone who is horrified of Wonka because of it. And I
Yeah,
used to
that's-
be.
I always thought he was kind of creepy. But I like the new one. I like the new one a lot.
The new one's way better. If that actually happened in real life, he would probably be in jail. Because the kid
Probably,
drowned
yeah.
in chocolate. He
Yeah.
sells that chocolate.
That's not right, is it?
No.
Messed up. You're right.
A kid turned into a blueberry, don't know, and a kid shrunk, but he got regrown.
Uh-huh.
But he should have went to jail.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was pretty weird stuff going on. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you letting me interview you, and I have a couple of our pins for you. We have a Reading Room Ruffian speaker pin and just a regular one, too. So I'll give you both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Welcome. Bye. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Ariel. I am interviewing Olivia and Peyton right now. Okay, so have you all ever listened to our podcast?
I don't think so.
No?
I have not.
Okay, so a little bit about our podcast. We mostly just kind of read books and then we discuss them. It's, I don't know, very librarian. Okay, so are you all enjoying Minicon so far?
Yes.
Very much so.
Okay, what's your favorite part about it?
Probably the dance.
The dance that the teens just did?
Yeah.
Probably all the games and just spending time with my friend.
That sounds fun, yeah. Do you all have a favorite world? Like Percy Jackson or Star Wars or The Hobbit?
Percy Jackson.
Also Percy Jackson.
Ugh, well, okay. No, it's fine. Okay, so do you all read a lot of books? Okay, what's the best book that you've read this year?
Percy Jackson, and Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
Ah, see, this is why you like Percy Jackson. So what's your favorite that you've read?
A Wolf Called Wonder.
Ooh, all right. So what do you normally like to read? Do you like to read fantasy books, just fiction books, science fiction?
I like science fiction.
Fiction and fantasy.
I like all those. I also like horror, so I like to get scared. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes we get to interview authors on our podcast. So if there was like an author of someone who wrote a book or whatever that you would like to hear interviewed, who would you like to hear? It could be anybody. If they're super famous, that's fine. We most likely won't get them, but we might. You drawing a blank?
K.R. Alexander.
All right. You don't have anybody specific?
No.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. All right. Is there anything that you would like to say to our listeners? It can be anything. You can shout out somebody if you want, or you can, I don't know, tell them something about yourself.
Keep reading and keep dreaming.
That's a good one.
Always remember that you are amazing.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Okay, now we are interviewing Susie, who is a recurring guest on our podcast.
Hello.
So, obviously, you've listened to the podcast.
Yes, I have.
And you love us because you keep coming on.
You guys are wonderful.
All right.
Yes, I love it.
All right, so are you enjoying Minicon so
yes,
far?
I am. I am. I always do.
What's your favorite part so far?
Well, I like the sushi truck outside.
That's nice, isn't it?
No, but I like to see all these kids having a great time. And it's what I like it. It's all ages,
Yeah.
and families are together, and and they're having a good time.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it, too, is seeing everybody enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the kids with the costumes.
Yeah.
And the adults with the costumes.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the best book that you've read this year?
Oh, I've read several really good ones. And of course, when you ask me, they go flying
out your head,
right
yeah.
out of my head. I'm trying to think of one. Well, right now I'm reading a good one that we've got here at the library called Monster, She Wrote, which is it's like a survey or a really good thing about women who have been either pioneers or really doing well in the history of horror and
Like
mysteries.
Mary Shelley and stuff like that?
Mary. What's funny is she's not number one. I mean, there were people before her.
Oh.
In the inventing the Gothic romance, but Mary is the big one.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And then they've got others that I liked, and then people that I could kick myself for missing and not knowing about. You know, and it's really good. You know, because so it's a nonfiction, but it's just got some great stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think I've heard about that one.
well, it's here at the library.
Yeah, that's just probably why I've heard about it.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. And I'm reading Connie Willis, who is I'm reading her best stuff. She's a lady who has written some incredibly good and won a lot of awards for science fiction. And she's written one of my favorites. It was in Analog, and I actually remember getting it. It was called Death on the Nile. And I'm not going to say anything more about it because you need to read it. It's just a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good sci-fi. Like I said, she's won a bunch of awards. Yeah, so I liked her.
Cool. All right. So, as you know, we interview authors sometimes on our podcast. Is there any authors that you would like to hear interviewed?
Oh, sure. I mean, there are tons. You know, let's have Neil Gaiman sit here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know,
I would
but
die.
that's not going to happen. I saw him speak once at a National Book Festival, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love his stuff. There are just so many good ones, and I can't even keep up with the new ones. But I would like him. I would like Barbara Hambly, who's written several Star Trek things, and she's also written a mystery series based in New Orleans in the 1840s. It's really good. She's really, really good. I like her.
See, I've never heard of her. So.
Yeah, see, there you go. So many, you know.
Yeah.
And some of them I'd like to hear are dead. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing, is there anything that you want to tell our listeners?
Get a library card.
Oh, she was very serious about that, guys.
I'm serious. Yeah, get a library card. Yeah, and just read what you want to read, and read. Don't be ashamed to read comic books. Don't be ashamed to read romances. Just read what you want to read, and you never know what one book will lead you to.
Oh yeah,
it'll lead to another one, and it's just awesome.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right, guys. So we are now with Katie. So, Katie, have you ever listened to the Reading Room Ruffian podcast?
I think I did listen to like one episode. My best friend Rachel works at the Ravenswood branch of the library, so she definitely sends that.
Okay, awesome. All right, so of that one episode, do you remember any of it? Did you like it? Do you remember?
I cannot remember. I think it was like a Halloween type of thing. It's been a while, and I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so are you liking Minicon so far?
I am loving this. We came to have an information booth for our Medieval Reenactment Society, the SCA. We are doing an event here on April 26th, 27th in Gandyville, West Virginia. It is like you go over to Spencer and then south like 15 minutes. It's not too far from here, and it is an absolute blast. It's just a bunch of medieval weirdos in the holler getting medieval on it. We've got armies that are going at each other, and we're gonna have classes. I do a class, I call it medieval-ish, SCA garb for the poor and untalented.
Oh, nice.
So anyone can do this. I have my awesome garb on now with my dress and everything. I've got my corset from Amazon for like $25, and everything else cost me less than $6.
Oh, nice.
And I made my skirt out of a sheet, and my blue dress is out of a sheet as well, and this is a robe here and some trim from the quarter store there in Cottageville.
Yeah,
love that place.
I do too. I go there all the time. Okay, so what is the best book that you have read this year?
Oh gosh,
I know it's a hard one.
Yeah, that is a hard one. I can't remember the name of that one. I know that the first book in the series is called Delirium, and Pandemonium. Those are the books. And there's another one that I cannot remember the name of. I do. So it is Pandemonium. I don't know what order. Requiem and Delirium. And it is a book series that is about like, in the future, they've figured out how to cure the need for love.
Oh, wow.
And so they vaccinate against the disease of love, and then people are only paired via, like, the way that you would best further the human race.
Wow.
Yes, and then nobody's bothered by it because they're vaccinated against love. But there's this whole adventure about this girl who she falls in love before she's allowed to take the vaccine, because I think you have to be 18 to take the vaccine. And she falls in love, and they go on this whole adventure. And I think that author has like spin-off books where she goes back through the same story in a different character's perspective. And I love that. And I haven't gotten to read that one. I think it has to do with the side character, Raven.
Oh.
And I need to find that book. I'll have to.
That sounds good, though.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what do you normally like to read? Do you like to read romances, fiction, fantasy?
I like a little bit of everything. I like things just kind of have to speak to me, really. It doesn't matter what
I get
genre.
that, yeah.
I really like, who is it? I feel like it's Andy Weir. He did The Martian.
Yeah,
And
yep.
yes, his writing is just amazing and really speaks to me, but I'm not usually into the sci-fi stuff. But he had The Martian, and then he had another one that was like on the moon. Artemis is what it was. And it was a smuggler on the moon. And his writing is just amazing.
That's awesome. Okay, so periodically on our podcast, we have authors that we interview. We've had a couple local authors, and then we did have one bestseller from like a New York Times bestseller author on. So, what are some authors that you would like to hear interviewed if we were able to get them on?
Oh gosh,
I know.
See, I am not big on like. I had Andy Weir's name on there because it was The Martian was such a hit, but I'm not huge on remembering. I don't remember band names either.
Me either. I get this.
If you asked me a song, I would I'd have to hear it, and if you said, "Oh, it's by this person," I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
And what is it? My daughter said, "Do you like Lana Del Rey?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she had to play me a song, and I went, "No, I never heard her."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I get that because I don't remember band names either.
So author-wise, I don't know. I do have a few stories in my soul that are eventually going to come out. I do dabble in a bit of writing, but I doubt I'm ever going to publish anything. It's more for fun. But
Put this on your head somehow.
I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot about authors.
That's fine. The last thing is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners?
Mostly, I just wanted to tell people about our SCA event. It's going to be great fun, and there's a lot to do. And if you do not make this one, it's in 3 weeks, and I know that this podcast will come out right around
there. Yeah.
So I would hope that the 27th, that Saturday, is the best day to go. So if this comes out right before then hopefully people can go if they've got a free Saturday. But we also are going to have one in Ravenswood, a lot closer, September 14th. And that one's perfect. It is designed for new people. And every newcomer that comes is entered to win a drawing, like a raffle. And there are a ton of artisan-made prizes available for that. And anyone who is the person who suggested them, you tell them, and they are also entered to win prizes. So it's incentive for people who are already in the SA to bring their friends. And I would, if anybody decides to go to the September 14th event in Ravenswood, you can tell them Katie sent you, and I'll be entered to win the prizes.
There you go, guys. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, now we are speaking with Joey.
Hello.
So, Joey, have you ever listened to the Libraries podcast?
No.
No, I know you haven't because you didn't know we had one.
Not at all, no.
Joey is one of my teens for my team program. Okay, so how are you liking Minicon so far?
Oh, I love it. It's awesome. Has so many references, which I love.
Okay, so what's your favorite part of it?
Probably the Percy Jackson part.
Percy Jackson?
My favorite series.
I am offended.
What?
Lord of the Rings is my world.
Oh, wait. I have to pull up the ring.
See, there we go. Yeah. Okay, anyways. So, do you read a lot of books?
Sometimes.
What is the best book that you've read this year?
This year? Probably Sea of Monsters, Percy Jackson. Should be the second or third.
You are the second person to mention Percy Jackson as their favorite book this year.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so what do you normally like to read? Do you like to read fantasy, fiction, science fiction?
Fantasy, science fiction, stuff
Just
like that.
all of it?
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay. So, if we were to interview an author, which we sometimes do, we've done a couple of local authors and one New York Times bestseller. What author would you like to hear?
Well, if he was still alive, forgot his name. Stanley, if he was still alive.
Well, that would be a little hard. Maybe we can get a Ouija board.
You say so.
Okay, so is there anything you would like to tell our listeners?
Arson is bad unless you have water beside you.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on our podcast. That is it.
Good luck, everyone.
I'm doing it.
All right, now we have Colt on. Hi, Colt.
Hello.
So, have you listened to our podcast at all?
A little bit, because my mom does in the car. So.
Yeah. Do you like us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's because we're funny. All right. So, how are you liking Minicon so far?
Love it.
What's your favorite part?
Capture the flag.
Is that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see y'all running down those aisles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
But which world would be Star Wars?
Okay.
And Lord of the Rings.
Just, just throw us under the bus. It's whatever.
I said and Lord of the Rings.
Okay. So, do you read a lot of books?
Not really.
No, I didn't think so.
But I have read a book this year.
Oh, okay. What book?
The first Harry Potter book.
That's a big one.
Was that or the first Star Wars book? So I think I read the Harry Potter one last year. So the Star Wars one this year.
Okay. Did you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of genre do you normally like to read?
Science fiction.
That's my favorite. Well, one of my favorites.
What's going on in here?
We are interviewing Baby Colt.
Yeah.
How come nobody invited me?
Get out of my interview process, ma'am.
These my babies.
You ate your sushi?
Okay. So we periodically will interview authors on our podcast. So is there an author that you would like to hear interviewed?
Stanley.
Well, that'd be a little hard, but that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners?
Hi, Mom.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. All right. Now we are having my daughter, Rowan, on. You want to say hi?
Hi.
All right. So, Rowan, have you ever listened to the podcast?
No.
No, because you don't like mommy listening to stuff in the car. How are you liking Minicon?
I'm loving it. But
What's your favorite part?
the part where I got a new jumping spider.
And what'd you name your jumping spider?
Flower.
She's very cute. She's a little baby. All right. What's your favorite world?
My favorite world is Hobbits.
Yeah. That's my data. That's right. All right. So, I know that you have read some books this year. So, what is the best book that you've read this year?
So far, I think it's the Stupid Smiley Bus and the Handsome Warden.
There we go. And you normally like to read just fiction books, or do you like fantasy books?
Fiction.
Fiction. And if you could have mommy interview any author, do you know any that you would like to have interviewed?
The one that made Junie B. Jones.
Ah, all right. And is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners?
I hope you're happy.
All right. Thank you for coming on. All right. Now we are having on another one of my teens. This is Seth. Hi, Seth.
Hello.
Okay. Have you ever listened to our podcast?
No, but soon enough I will. I'm really excited.
That's fine. How are you liking Minicon so far?
I love it. I love it to death.
What's your favorite part?
Honestly, all like the little like, I call them artifacts.
Mm-hmm. All the props and stuff that we have out.
Yeah, but mostly the things that you can get from putting, like, if you're like the lucky winner.
Oh, the raffle prizes.
Yeah. I call them artifacts.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. We got a lot this year. All right, so do you normally read?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your favorite book that you've read this year?
Dog Man.
Okay.
It's amazing. I love it. It's kind of funny, but like it also kind of like educational. It's really nice.
And what do you normally like to read? Do you like to read fantasy fiction, science fiction?
I like fiction, like medieval fiction.
Okay. I also like fiction. I stick to science fiction and horror mostly, though.
I like horror too.
Okay. So, as you have heard, we periodically interview authors on our podcast. If there was an author that you could hear interviewed on our podcast, what would you like to hear?
Dave Pilkey.
The guy who wrote Dogman.
Yes, and Captain Underpants.
Yep.
Funny enough, I have like almost all of the books.
Oh, wow.
Of Captain Underpants, Dogman, and Cat Kid Comic Club.
Wow.
I even have a plushie of Little Petey.
Oh, wow. You're an avid fan.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. All right. Well, is there anything else that you would like to tell our listeners?
I hope you have a wonderful day. It's been nice speaking to you all. I hope you have a great day.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay. So this is Mallory, and I have with me
Alma Boggs.
Get real close to the mic. Let me turn you up here. Go ahead.
Alma Boggs.
Alma Boggs. Okay. So, Alma, what are you dressed as today?
Mikan Sumigi.
What's that from?
Danganronpa.
That's cool. Is that an anime?
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, so is this your first Minicon?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
What would you like to see more of next year?
Percy Jackson. They had too much Star Wars. I hate Star Wars. They had one little section of Percy Jackson, and it was not that fun, okay? They needed to add more. The Star Wars section was way too big. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So do you read a lot? Or
yes, a lot.
Do you have a favorite book that you read so far this year? If you want to talk about a couple, you totally can.
The Sun and the Star and the whole Trials of Apollo series.
Nice. All right.
All Percy Jackson books.
Yes. I was about to say those are also Rick Riordan, who is the author of Percy Jackson. I'm going through the Percy Jackson series for the first time ever, like right now. I'm on book number 4. Well, I've
read all of them, even the side books.
Yeah. I'll get there eventually. I put it off for a very long time. I actually never knew about them until recently, like working here. And
Who are you?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, I think a lot of
Any
it
other
is probably-
questions for me?
Yes, I do. So we interview authors sometimes. Do you have any authors you would love to hear on our podcast?
Rick Riordan.
All right. We can try that. I can't make promises.
I'm either going to say
but-
all Percy Jackson stuff or I don't
that's
know.
fair. That's very fair. Okay, so have you listened to our podcast before?
No.
Would you be interested in listening to our podcast?
Yeah, probably.
Are you in Ariel's teen group?
I am not a teenager. I'm 11. Surprising.
That is surprising, but also it's for kids ages, I think, 12. Yeah, never mind. Mine go up to 12. Never mind. It's fine. We're having a moment today.
I turned 12 on December 7th.
Would you be joining Ariel's teen group?
Maybe.
So I feel like you're friends with some of the teens that I've seen in her group, yeah?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. I made some friends today.
It's a fun time. We love the teens. Okay, so is there anything let me see, I'm trying to think. What would you recommend for me to read aside from Percy Jackson? Because I'm already going through those.
There's a lot, though. Let me think.
Okay.
I'm having to think a lot about this.
You're good. It's hard to recommend just like one book, so I get it.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Maybe anything by Junji Ito. Maybe anything Junji Ito related. I love Junji Ito.
Okay. All right. So Spell that for me.
JUNJI space ITO.
All right. I'll look into that.
From your reaction, I could tell you probably know what Junji Ito is. You also started doing Danganronpa poses when I mentioned Danganronpa.
I love this interview a lot.
I promise I'm not that cringe. Okay, I just like Danganronpa.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. It wasn't that bad, was it?
No.
Once you get talking about stuff you like, it's a lot easier. We were terrified to start it, but yeah. You should hear like our early podcasts versus now. Totally different people. It's wild. It's wild. If you would like, you can leave now. But thank you very much. Yes, I will give you a pen. There you go. Oh wait, what does that one say? Yeah. Objection. Here you go. No, I work here, dog. So? Leave me alone. You can come on the podcast.
Yeah, do it.
I'm so scared of the podcast.
Do it.
Why? You have to do it. I recruited like all the teenagers. Like they haven't left me alone for like the past 4 hours. I love that.
And then will you do it?
Maybe. It depends on how awkward you are.
No, I won't try to be. Hold on.
You and Mallory can be friends. And that's all happy.
Yeah, we're best friends.
Love it. Yes.
Oh, God, I'm scared.
Okay, so what is your name?
Corey.
C-O-R-Y? C-O-R-E-Y?
K-O-R-E-Y.
All
I know,
right.
I scare everyone when I pull out the K.
No, it's just spelling. My name is a name that nobody can spell, so I'm always like, people are like, oh, is this how you spell it? I'm like, no.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm doing that to you. Okay. So, have you listened to our podcast at all?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Totally fine. We're actually fairly new. This is just our first year doing it, so.
Ooh, I'll listen to it when I get home, maybe.
We're pretty fun. If you think we're funny at all, like, it's a lot more fun. So, how are you? Is this your first Minicon?
No, it's
No?
my second one.
Your second one?
Yes.
So, between last year and this year, which was your favorite?
Oh, I wasn't here last. I was here the year before last year.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, between
yeah,
that
shame on
year.
you. No,
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember. No. Okay, I didn't really get to do much the first time I came to Minicon. I think we just stopped and looked at the vendors and left.
Yeah.
But I guess so. By default, this is my favorite.
Yes. What's your favorite world? What's your favorite world this year?
Neither. I'm not very into. Wait, what? 3 of them?
There's
Star Wars, Percy Jackson.
Star Wars, and then Hobbit.
Oh.
We stuck in
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess Percy Jackson, just because, I don't know, I've watched the TV show.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know more about it than
So, what are you dressed as currently?
Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen.
All right, that's cool. I have no. Listen, I've never watched or read anything like that. I'm sorry.
You have to.
I know. I'm the worst. So do you read a lot or a little or sometimes?
I try to, but I'm not very motivated.
Have you read anything good recently?
No.
Okay,
But
so what's your favorite book of all time or series?
Yes, Heaven's Official Blessing.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure who it's by.
That's fair. That's fair. I was about to ask, and I was like, not everyone gets stuff like that. It's okay. I would have to look it up probably. So how often do you think you would want to? Okay, let me try that again. You said you're not like a super motivated reader. How often do you find yourself reading? Like just every once in a while? Like, what's the mood like whenever you want to read?
Probably once a month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to have days off from work,
Yeah,
like in a row,
I get
to get
that, I
motivated.
So are you more of like a binge reader? You want to read a book like all at once?
Yes.
I get, yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah.
Like, I just don't have time.
So we sometimes interview authors. Who would you be interested in us trying to get on to the podcast?
This is so impossible, but Hajime is, how do you say his last name? The guy who wrote Attack on Titan.
Oh,
I
okay.
need to know what goes on in his head.
Let me see here, if I can write. All right, I will look that up. Thank you. See, we're trying to get, because we've had a couple of authors on. We've had Travis on, T.A. Spencer, who's out right outside the door. We had Garth Stein, who I don't know if you guys have read that book, Art of Racing in the Rain. It was also a movie with the guy races cars and his dog, just from his dog's point of view. No. I won't read it because I'll probably sob. But I know it's good. I know it's fantastic. But anyway, that was pretty cool. So we're trying to get more authors on that people would be interested in listening to.
I don't know if people would be interested in it, but James Patterson.
Oh, gosh.
No. I need to... How is he on that many books?
He doesn't write them.
I know, but like, why is he taking all the credit?
Because he's evil.
No, if you hear this, James Patterson Pookie, if you hear this, I swear. Please don't put me on a list. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. There's going to be someone at my window staring at me.
Yeah. Is there anything you would want to tell our listeners? You can you can say anything you want, or you could just say, "Hi, Mom." Oh, Mom, Dad, whoever. I don't know. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. No pressure. There's no pressure. All right. So thank you for joining me.
You're
I had
so
a lot
welcome.
of fun.
I graced your presence.
You did. It's very graceful. I loved it.
Jordan, your turn.
I'm getting both pins. Oh, what if I throw up? You'll have to cut it out.
I will. Don't worry about it.
Wait, I don't know the answers to any of the questions.
That's okay.
I heard 2 interviews before me, and I'm still...
All right, so we now have my coworker, Jordan.
Hey!
Okay. Jordan, have you listened to any of the podcast?
Dude, you're going to kill me. I've heard it from outside the door.
I'm literally not going to kill you. It sounds like fun, though, doesn't it?
It does. You guys laugh a lot.
So what have you thought about Minicon this year?
I like it a lot. I've mostly been stuck at that one game, but looking around, it's really fun. I've been watching, like, the races, and, like, Jacob's been racing a lot of kids. Yeah. And that's been funny to watch. Yeah.
Would you say that's probably your favorite part of Minicon?
I'm watching Jacob race the kids, probably.
So what was it like to prep for Minicon? Because that's the first time you've ever done anything like that.
Okay, it was really stressful.
Yes.
It's been fun, but I'm glad it's over.
Yes.
It really tested my creativity. I never did stuff like this before, and I enjoy it.
We're very happy to have you. Like, very, very happy.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I know you read, but do you do a lot of reading?
I try so hard, but by the time I get off work, I'm so done. Mm-hmm. I've read 1 full book this year, and I have like 10 that I've started. Like, I see you and Ariel post all those books that you've read in a month. I'm like, how do they have the time? How do they do this?
We listen. That's how.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So, would you recommend the book that you've gotten to finish so far?
If you want to feel dread, despair, and helplessness, yes.
What book was it?
It was No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. It made me sad.
Oh, boy. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
You know what, though? There's, like, people that love that stuff. Ariel is one of them.
Yeah.
Weirdos.
I have a lot of books like that, but...
No, it's good. So do you read a lot of books like that?
Oh, I try.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So do you have a favorite book or series or author?
My favorite author's dead, and it is Osamu Dazai.
I get that. Okay.
I don't think I have a favorite series. I've never really gotten into, like, those big ones. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I tried to read Percy Jackson specifically for Minicon, and then I felt forced to read it.
Yeah.
And so I stopped.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get that too. Absolutely.
Yes.
So what about, let me see, what's an author or authors that you would want to have us have on the podcast?
Okay, so not James Patterson.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd rather die than listen to that.
Oh no, I would be so boring.
Oh gosh, this is a lot.
You can give us a whole list. I don't care. I love it. We've also got a list.
Guys, if you can figure out how to bring Osamu Dazai back and interview him, please.
I will start necromancy just for that.
Oh my god, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then what that person said before, Junji Ito, I think would be really cool.
Okay. All right, that's great. Do you want to shout out to anybody or tell the listeners anything?
Shout out, not James Patterson. James Patterson, stop. You take up so many shelves, and it's ridiculous. Every single day, I'm putting up at least 20 James Patterson books. He's in the young adult fiction. He's in the audio books, the adult fiction, the kids' books. Stop. Please.
No, but really, stop, please.
Please. You don't have to be everywhere.
That is everything that I have. Thank you so much, Jordan, for joining me. Was it as bad as you thought?
No, it was fun.
See, it was fun.
Now I might have to come on the real one.
Yes.
I'm so nervous.
We'll do it. I love it. Okay. That's great.
Okay, that was fun.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wait, I kind of want to do the shot. What? Are you guys just like trusting them, or?
Yeah.
Okay, then I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'll go help Avery.
Okay.
Okay, bye. So fun.
All right, that wraps up my time. I want to thank you guys for listening to us today. I don't have anything witty or fun prepared, so you don't get a normal sign off, but just remember, only the best libraries have librarians who don't shush you.